Hello and welcome to the first video of my LPL 2024 preview series where we're going to cover anyone's legend. If the audio is absolute dog water, I did drop the microphone yesterday and a piece did fall off. I'm just moving the microphone now, so I apologize if that screwed your headphones up or whatever else. So I advise you join the Discord, become a dedicated simp, if you will, and that's a role on the Discord. You'll be notified of every upload, or subscribe to the channel because there are going to be 50 or so uploads over the next 3 weeks. So, anyone's legend. A team that's been in the dumps since its inception a couple years ago, formerly Rogue Warriors. In 2022, the team went 12-20. Last year, went 7-25. So just look, it took down. I thought I heard something with my computer there. So between the last 2 years, 19-45. That's no good, right? So they made some significant changes. They have swapped out the entire roster from last year. ZDZ and Zhaohao are out. They went to Weibo. Harder has been demoted to the academy team or development team. iBoy and ZQE are out. iBoy is unemployed as of the moment, I believe, and ZQE is on RNG's development team. And then lastly, Zora is with Rare Atom. Pinzi, I believe, is also without a team. He played with Anyone's Legend last year as well. So completely swapped the roster out. There aren't many teams like last year. We had quite a few teams that swapped entire rosters. This year it's not nearly as many. All 5 players, I think it's actually, I would say, less than double digits of the 47 teams that swapped every role. And I mean, Anyone's Legend, you can't say they aren't trying. Like some people believe, they could have bought this player or that player. And it's like, well, it's a salary cap era now in the LPL, I believe. And let's be real, players do want to get paid. So you can't just, think that they're going to get the best players in every role. Like that's not going to really be the case. So like I said, ZDZ, Zhaohao, Pinzi, ZQE, iBoy, Zora are all gone. Cotton and Erha also gone. They were on the development team. Added Harry, Krakow, Shanks, Hope, and Cal, as well as the coach Joker. So let's go over this roster. In top lane, we have Harry at 22 years old. He played with Ultra Prime last year. The average age of this roster, 21.8 years old, so a younger one. 75 games, 2 KDA, 8.2 CS per minute, 56.6 KP. These numbers are not great. Ultra Prime were not great. I feel like I've talked about Harry a few times the last couple weeks in my top lane rookies video, as well as when he got dumped by Ultra Prime. These numbers, like I said, they're not great, but if you actually watch that top lane prospects video, rookies video, you'll see that there weren't many great top laners. This is pretty standard. 21.7 gold share, 464 damage per minute, 23.7 damage share, 16 champions. His 3 most played, Kesante, Renekton, and Nar, those account for 54% of his games played. So of the 75 games, 54% were on those 3 champions. And that's a new thing I'm adding this year in these videos to kind of give you perspective on champion pool usage and things like that. Krakow, joining from DRX in the LCK at 23 years old. 60 games played as he was subbed out for Juhan at times on the defending champion roster. 2.1 KDA, 5.1 CS per minute, 71.6 KP. To say that they were bad was an understatement. To say that Krakow played well would have been a lie. Krakow really struggled. They went through different mid laners, which probably didn't help things, but at the same time, he was definitely part of the problem. 18.3 gold share, 310 damage per minute, 14.7 damage share on average against LCK junglers. Down 335 gold, 7 CS, 245 XP, 3 solo kills, 15 champions played. His 3 most played, Maokai, Sejuani, and Vi. Those account for half of his games. So 30 of the games were on those 3 champions. Behind him, you have Relife. Relife is the substitute on the team. We do not know his age. He played with Anyone's Legends LDL team last year. In 85 games, he was not overly dominant, but if there was a role on this team that I could see them, making sense for having Substitute jungle would be up there along with top lane, but right now they don't have a top laner announced for their LDL team, so that's why we only talked about Harry. So Real Life, 85 games, 29 KDA, 5.3 CS per minute, 70 KP. Are these numbers good? No. Has he earned a call up with these numbers? No. I don't watch development leagues, so I'll be honest. He may look great, but statistically, definitely does not pass that test. 18-7 gold share. Excuse me. Gold share, 359 damage per minute, 11 champions played. And then they have Snorlax, also a substitute jungler that I believe will probably start for their LDL team this year. Age unknown, no games played. Mid lane, they have Shanks at 22 years old, a player that I had in my top 5 video after spring of this past season with Team Wii. I thought Shanks was excellent. In summer, Team Wii left a lot to be desired. Thought they could have done a little bit more, but that happens sometimes. 22 years old. Excuse me, I apologize. 22 years old, 85 games played, 39 KDA, 88 CS per minute, 65 7 KP. These numbers obviously very good. Getting ahead in resources, 2 out of every 3 kills roughly. Involvement. 22-9 gold share, 608 damage per minute, 28 damage share. You're going to see that Shanks and Hope, obviously, tandem left Team Wii to come to Anyone's Legend, and they both kind of shared the carrying duties with Team World Elite last year. 19 champions played. Azir, Ryze, and Annie were his 3 most played, and those accounted for 46% of his games. Behind him, we have Harder. These numbers are LPL numbers from last year when he did play with Anyone's Legend. At 20 years old and 30 games, had a 2.3 KDA, 8 CS per minute, just below 70 KP, so obviously was a little out of his depth. But also, we also, how many times am I going to say also? He was in a bad situation. Anyone's Legend swapped out the entire roster for a reason, right? So this is not a condemnation on him, but at the same time, he was part of the problem, but a young player nonetheless. 21-1 gold share, 492 damage per minute, 24-5 damage share. We can see the difference there, right? We're looking at a 116 damage per minute diffy between the two on average. 11 champions played in those 30 games. The bot lane, Hope and Cal. So Hope, 23 years old, looked very good with JDG a couple years ago. A lot of people giving him some hype. I thought he was an inter, and that was what would hold back JDG, and ended up holding back JDG at 2022 Worlds, and obviously getting replaced by Ruler, and JDG end up in the same place with the same result this past year. Missing definitely proved his worth on that team, and trying to keep Hope alive. And Iwandi, I thought, did an excellent job this past year doing the same thing. So Hope, 85 games, 3.7 KDA, 9.3 CS per minute, 71 KP. Honestly, these numbers are not very good. These are a step back. Now, is Team Wii JDG? No. But at the same time, elite players can get the job done, can find resources, can make things happen. 24-5 gold share, 635 damage per minute, 28.6% of the team's damage. Like I said, he and Shank sharing the carry duties. 11 champions played. Zeri, Aphelios, and Varus accounting for 46% of his games. Zhao Hanbo is the backup. Played with Anyone's Legend. Yeah, played with Anyone's Legends LDL team. Currently under contract to play with them again. 28 games, 2.6 KDA, 9.5 CS per minute, 72.9 KP, 25.3 gold share, 6.17 damage per minute. So he is definitely the carry. These numbers reflect that. Is he ready for a promotion? No. So there is no pressure on Hope from behind. There shouldn't really be anyways, given this roster. 7 champions played in that time. Now, lastly, as far as the roster is concerned, we have Cal. I believe Cal is... So, the last 4 splits, it's Keria, Cal, and Kellen for me. A lot of people be like, really? Lahens and Delight and Barrel and all this. And I'm going to say, I'm taking all 4 splits. So, Delight obviously did better than Cal and Kellen this past year, but the year with Bro does count in this to me. Cal went from Envy and Ice in 2022 spring, looking good, to Prince in 2022 summer. Mind you, he's 19 right now. Going into this year, out of the 47 rosters projected supports, he is the youngest support in the 4 major regions. And we're talking about 2 years ago. We're not even talking about this season. 2022 summer, played with Prince. Made Prince look great. Sandbox goes on a run. Prince being the poster of that. In my opinion, it had a lot to do with Cal. We see Prince leave, and Prince sucked with FlyQuest, right? Left a lot on the table. And we're going to talk about Sandbox before this video is done. Again, this year, plays with Envy in spring. Envy had a great split. Envy played much better than he did with LGD in summer, right? Compare LGD Envy to Live Sandbox Envy. Cal made Envy look really good, but Envy loses a job, and rightfully so, I guess, when you really think about it, because how did he look away from Cal? And then he goes with Teddy, and he drops off a bit. I'll acknowledge that. And at the same time say, look how many different 80 carries the kid has played with the last couple years. He has not had an opportunity to play with the same support. 80 carry back-to-back splits. And he's looked great the majority of the time. So, I think alongside Hope, Cal has the potential to look just as good as Missing did. And that's going to surprise some people, but it's not going to, honestly, it's not going to surprise me. I think Cal is so good. 91 games, 3 KDA, 73.7 KP. Excuse me, my gosh. 177 damage per minute. Vision score per minute, 3.4. Forward place 8 wards every 5 minutes. 3 control wards every 5 minutes. And clear just under 1 ward every other minute. 24 champions played. And if you followed along with my channel, you'll know champion pool is massive to me. I think it's very important. 24 champions is disgusting. And now the percentage. We have a 54, a 50, a 46, and a 46. For Cal, his 3 most played, Rel, Nami, Heimer. Rel had 9, and then Nami and Heimer had 8. There's a couple more with 8. But those 3 account for 27% of his games played. Just goes to show you just how wide of a champion pool he has and how effective it is. He's an excellent player. He truly is, and I think alongside Hope he's going to look very good. Think is the backup. Played with Anyone's Legend, Young, as well as Weibo's LDL team last year. 41 games, 2.5 KDA, 73.7 KP, 166 damage per minute. 16 champions played. I doubt he pressures Cal for the job. And then lastly, Joker is the coach. Joker coached IG last year, but also coached Live Sandbox in 2022. Hence why Cal and Krakow are on this team. 48 and 58 in his career regular season record, best of 3s in LCK LPL, 8 and 16 in individual games in the playoffs. He obviously brought those Sandbox players here. I prefer not to have Krakow on this team. There's another Korean import jungler out there that's much better than Krakow. Tarzan. Excuse me, I actually had to cough, and that worked great. So, this team, I'm not going to talk about this for every team, I don't think, but this team is the team that I think has a chance to make the playoffs that people aren't going to give it credit for. Because of the bot side of the Rift being as good as it is, I think Shanks, Hope, and Cal get the job done. Krakow just has to keep Harry alive, I guess, and Harry has to play weak side. And if that can happen, then I think this team can make the playoffs. I'm not saying it's a world's contender or anything, but I think it's a playoff team if they play to their strengths. So that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, like it, subscribe to the channel for daily League of Legends content. Follow me on Twitter, join the Discord, become a YouTube supporter, and hope to see you again tomorrow.